What's up, Internet? So, we've been getting a lot of questions about this new gun that came out, which is the M249 Featherweight. I use a version 2 gearbox, so a lot of people are asking, can you put like an F2 in it, or a jack, or an F1? Since this version 2 should be a pretty simple drop-in, but we're unsure about the nozzle size. So we managed to borrow one, so we got it here, and we're actually going to tear it apart today and find out what is needed to convert. So I've only torn it apart so far to get an estimate on the nozzle length, which it should be a A&K M60 length nozzle, number 14. Don't know for sure yet, because I actually haven't gone further than that. So we're actually going to go from the start to finish and see what happens. So, might be an interesting video, so hang in there, and here we go. Alright, so first, the gearbox is basically held in by the pistol grip and a center body pin, so basically a trigger fin on M4. So first, we're going to remove the barrel group to get the nozzle out of the way, and I'm going to take the gearbox out. So step off, we're going to release the barrel. So this lever right here releases it. What I'm going to do is collapse this, get out of the way. Slide forward, like that. Alright, put it this way. Then depress these two levers, open the feed tray. As you can see, it's just kind of like free floating in there. So to release it, I'm going to remove the pistol grip. For now. Alright, it's got a little spring right here, so put that inside, flip that up, and then a little trap door swings open. Take a Phillips screwdriver, move the two screws holding the base plate on. Come here. There you go. Alright, two screws out, base plate comes out. There we go. Now I have to disconnect the positive and negative leads on the motor. So for that, probably spare a few of those pliers will do the trick. Off. And two off. Pull those out. It's kind of hard to get to, so maybe a pair of pliers, grab hold of the end of the motor bell. There we go. Hey, back up. Alright, motor out. Now beyond that, there are 4 screws in the bottom of the grip, so those need taken out because that's being screwed to the gearbox itself. This might be a good section to speed up the camera. Alright, 4 screws out. I'm going to slide the grip off. Wires out through the bottom, or technically the top. Alright, pistol grip off. Alright, so again, gearbox is now being held in by just this pin right here. So it should push out from left to right. So grab a pin punch. I think I just pushed this out. So just pushing from the right hand side. You can see it's knurled on one end. This side it grabs, so that was on the left hand or right hand side, so left to right. Alright, now the gearbox should lift out. So again, 2 tabs, open up the feed tray. And there we go. That was actually really easy. Alright, now we have to disassemble the gearbox and prep that for the installation of the F2. Alright, so first we're going to remove the spring. This, I believe, is a Aries made gun, so it's a quick exchange spring guide. So for that, we'll need a Allen wrench to unlock that. I believe this is 6mm. So I guessed right. Hey, you guessed right. Alright, so 6mm Allen wrench, locks in the back of it. You just press in, rotate, and unlock with those 2 tabs there. So I'm going to pull that out. Don't need that anymore. All right, so now the spring tension's off. We can remove the screws and open it up. All right, once the screws are out, easiest to do is to hold on the cylinder, keep nothing moving around, just lift that frame up, the shell up, flip it over, and there we have all the guts. All right, so first off, gonna pop the spring from the top plate, just pop off the post at the front, and this whole cylinder assembly can be pulled out. Then just remove your gears. Make sure you get all the shims out too, don't want those rattling around inside. Anti-reversal lever, and spur gear, and a piece of styrofoam apparently. That's cute. All right, then pull our trigger out, which didn't jump out by itself this time. All right, now we can move actually the trigger switch itself. So we've got a spring up here. Just gonna pop this off the post. That, and a little screw right there. Move that. You are want to keep this screw. This is what's going to hold the switchboard in place. So don't lose that. All right, now this whole thing should lift out. Come here. Oh, lost our spring. All right, there we go. Don't need that. Come here. All right, so next, it is kind of greasy inside. We obviously don't need grease. And all it's going to do is collect dirt and possibly cause a short if it's in just the right place. So we want to clean all the grease out, make sure it's nice and clean before we drop in the HVAC system. So really just a clean cloth, paper towel, anything like that. Just wipe it out. You can use alcohol to make it a little easier to clean it up. I don't have any, so we're doing without. Doesn't have to be super clean, but just so there's not like a little gob of grease that's just thrown in place. All right, that one. Oh, there's that shim. Don't want that. All right, that's good enough. All right, now let's start installing the HPA components. Okay. All right, so clean up all the original parts. Bag them up in case the owner wants to revert back to an AG in the future, since we're not actually modifying the gearbox itself. It could be done. Not that I really want to, but there you go. So first off, I'm gonna put F2 in it, but based on the calculations, it should require a number 14 nozzle, best I can tell. So your F2 is gonna come like this. It should specify that it's a version 2 gearbox, so this is a standard V2 M4 kit that you get for an M4, but it's going to need a different nozzle. So we're going to swap the nozzle out real fast, show you how that's done. So first off, just unscrew front cylinder. And pop the nozzle out. Really simple. Now, obviously the nozzle's not greased, we're gonna have to grease that first. So for greasing, we're just gonna grease the section here and the O-ring. So you don't have to put a lot of grease on, just enough to be noticeable. Like that. All right. I'm going to take the front cylinder, drop it in there. Good. Screw it back together. And Pinocchio. All right, time dropping in. So first off, we're going to install the switchboard. So this little tiny screw you took out of the trigger switch, you'll need that. Is going to drop in place right where the original trigger switch was. And it seems like it fits perfectly. All right. Snug that down. Nice and secure. All right, we're good. All right. So next, I'm going to take the F2 and lock the pins of the gearbox into the holes on the cylinder, just like the original piston head. Might have a little bit of play on these pins. The pins are a little on the narrow side, so we might have to shim that in a bit, but we'll find out here in a second. All right, so the ones marked black is your poppet. That's going to go on marked P or J2, the upper one. Sure it's popped in place and secure. The other one goes in the lower one, obviously. All right, so yeah, the headers are marked P and N for poppet and nozzle, so pretty easy to tell. The upper one is your nozzle solenoid, the lower one's your poppet solenoid. All right, and make sure that these wires are tucked out of the way. You don't want them like hanging over the edge, so when you put it together, it's going to pinch them. So you can actually like give a little twist, make them stay out of the way better. Kind of like that. All right, should be good. Since this is a rear wired gun, I'm going to wire it for the rear. And the stock harness that comes with is 18 inches. This is probably way more than you really need, but I think there's enough room inside. We just kind of coil it up. But if you want to, you get a shorter harness. Right. I guess you can tell that the connector can only go one way. It's got these little tabs on it that go into the slots on the side of the header, so you can't put it in the wrong way. Just a little FYI. All right, ready to button this thing back up once we get our trigger in and see how it fits. So trigger, spring locks into the little hole like that. And then see how many tries it takes me to get this back in. So you start with the leg of the spring on the inside tab of the gearbox shell. Kind of keep downwards pressure against it, then pivot it up. So the holes line up. Stay. Push down a little bit. All right, nobody sneeze. Good. All right, that's how it should look basically. Wires are out of the way. Wire harness is stuck through the port on the back. Locked on the pins. So basically, if you keep pressure on the cylinder, it should stay in place. So I pass my fingers through here, keeping the wire harness and the airline in place. Check for no gaps. If there's no gaps, meaning nothing's being pinched. So you're good to go ahead and screw it down. So what we're going to do is put in these two screws here and check to see if the cylinder is being locked in place by the gearbox shell. Let's see. All right, see it's got some wiggle room to it there. It shouldn't actually move back and forth like that. So this gearbox is just a little bit wider than what is usual. So what we can do is actually shim the cylinder within the gearbox shell to keep that from happening. So take the screws back out. Because obviously with the cylinder moving like that, it's going to change where the nozzle sits in the bucking. That's going to affect your air seal, most likely. So it's always a good idea to have it as secure as possible. Okay. All right, so I can do this without jumping out again. There we go. All right. Well, I can unplug and make it a little easier to show you. But... All right, so basically we need to make this area being gripped tighter by the gearbox shell. So what we can do is use foil tape to make it a little bit wider. All right, so the standard foil tape, like used for HVAC, it's actually metal, so it's good for a shim. It's better than like electrical tape because it's kind of rubbery and will squish out. So we're gonna cut 2 strips out of this and apply it over the holes on the cylinder. So I believe there's no real exact size to this. So we're just kind of winging it here. So basically two mostly equal length sections. As adhesive, obviously it's tape, but take the adhesive off the back of it. I'm going to apply that right to the side, directly above the hole. Actually, press in, you can see where the hole is. Same the other side. This may not be the most professional way of doing it, but it actually does work pretty well, as long as I can get it to stick. All right. Now to make the post go down our easier, cut a vertical slit with like a razor blade, which I forgot to bring. So we'll do this. So vertical slit, that way it'll just kind of push to the side when the pin goes in. All right, and I'll straighten this back out again, make it a little easier. And the harness is in the way. All right. So press this down with the pin. That. It should push it in like that. All right. Gotta reconnect our power leads. All while trying not to make the trigger jump out. There we go. Come on, did so neatly the first time. All right, there we go. So there, put the harness back in. You know what, I'm gonna go underneath the airline. That's pretty good. All right, so we should be good. Button this thing back up. Alright, screw back in. Much better. Does not move now. Alright, put the rest of the screws back in and ready to drop back in the gun. Alright, so gearbox is back together. At this point, it's a good idea to hook up the air and the battery and FC on that to make sure everything works correctly before you install it in the gun and find out you had something wrong. We've all done that. But we're good to go now. We've already done the functions check, it's good. We're gonna drop in the gun. So here we go. So just in reverse order. Other way. Alright, so just drop the airline down to where the grip would go. Make sure trigger pops out where it's supposed to go. Like I said, you got a lot of wire here, but I think got enough room to make it work. But first step it's going to do is to line up the pinhole with the hole in the gearbox. Just get the light just right and see if you did it correctly. Alright, let's take our pin. Again, we drove it out from left to right, so going back in from right to left with the knurling side facing out. And if it's lined up correctly, it should push right through. We'll need to tap it in a little bit. So pin punch, hammer. And you're good. Alright, so that's locked in. Now I'm just going to reinstall the grip. So let's see here. Let's first do this. Coil this up for now. Get out of the way. Everybody inside, come on. Right. So on the grip, one thing I did notice is that with this trapdoor, since the airline comes out through there, there's no way for it to come out. So you could either drill a hole in it, or you could just remove the trapdoor, which just appears to be a pin. Just gonna try driving that out. Got a fence there. Alright, save those parts. So I got a nice clear passage. Put our 4 screws back in.
What's it back in?
Nice and solid. Now I'm just have to reinstall the barrel grip. So let's back it up. Okay. So you're going to notice on the outer barrel, there's a notch right here. That's for this guy here. So it needs to be lined up like so. The feed tube port facing the left-hand side. This might be a little tricky once you get in there, but that's what you should be doing. So if it's not going together, look for that. All right. I could really use a third hand. Just make sure it lines up with the nozzle. That looks like it's not lined up with the groove just yet. There it is. All right, so basically you want to make sure that when you're closing it, see this gap right here? Should not be here. It's not fully locked in yet. It's just wiggle that chamber around, make sure it's find that groove, and lock all the way in, and it will not come back out. All right, so now find a place for FCU and battery. Yeah, I'd probably do it like a 7.5 inch harness next time I do this. That's a lot of wire, but I think we're all right. Just gotta tuck that one aside. Yeah, no problem. Plug our FCU in. Little battery. Little 7.4 LiPo. And the battery down there. The FCU will come as default for, say, an M4, where it has a select fire position, so semi and full auto. Since the 249 is full auto only, you're going to need to change it in the FCU so the first selected position is full auto, because right now the default position is semi-auto. So to do that, come to our FCU, program mode, so click on the button, and scroll over till you see the S1 and S2 settings. So that's S1, looks like 5.1, and S2. So right now, that's select position 1, select position 2. 0.0 is full auto, 0.1 is semi-auto. So what we're gonna do is put that down. So now both full auto. And then just hit that, exit programming, so now we're in auto. Put this in there. All right, make sure everything's out of the way, it's gonna get pinched. ready to try it out. Let's see how she does. So one last thing, since we've never actually done this install before, is to check and make sure the nozzling is correct, so you have proper air seal. So to do that, you're just going to use a light test to see if there's light escaping between the front of the nozzle and the bucking. So obviously if light can get through, air can get through too. So if you see no light, then you have a good air seal. So for that, you're just literally going to find the feed tube, which is right there. So that's where your nozzle is, sealing against the bucking. You can take your bright light, shine it through the muzzle. And we don't see any light, so I think we're good. Also, one other thing to note too, I just did this, so something to watch out for is when you close everything up, make sure this is out of the way. So just push that forward, because otherwise it's going to close over top of it, and you can't open it up. So pop that down, then you're good. All right, now let's see how it does. It's quite light. Hi, cat. Alrighty, here goes nothing. Two words, box mag. Alright, so M249 nozzle, so that will cover the F2, F1 or jack, and that installation also covers those systems as well because the electronics are exactly the same. So for anyone that wanted to know if you can put a system into a M249 Featherweight by Cybergun, yes you can. So till next time, keep an eye on our social media for more updates and tech videos, and if you want to see something in particular, comment below. See you later.